Welcome back, Nick Lynch's Comic Corner, Classics, Non-Classics. This is episode number 429 and Doubleshot number 348. Okay. Two Marvel trades. One Guardians of the Galaxy, the other one Avengers. First up is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Prelude. Like with the Captain America Civil War Prelude, it's not a prelude, it's an adaptation of the first film. And an abridged one. Yeah, that's simply what it is. An abridged version of the Guardians of the Galaxy film. They cut out all the Easter eggs that were in the film, a lot of the funny stuff. It's an okay adaptation of the film, but I really wish they would not call this Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Prelude, because it is not. It is just an adaptation of the first film. There is nothing in this particular comic book that sets up the film. In the Guardians of the Galaxy Prelude, the first one, which was the last comic book done by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, that one actually did set some stuff up for the film. Not everything per se, but some of the stuff for the film. This, however, once again, for the second Prelude miniseries in a row, it is a complete lie. It is not a prelude, it's an adaptation. It's an okay adaptation. Alright, and that's done by Will Corna Pilgrim, with artwork by Chris Allen. Artwork is done by Chris Allen with artwork with Andrea. Monty. Yeah, that's to do the issue itself. The other books that are printed in here, aside from the Prelude, are Giant Size Avengers number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 number 1. And Guardians of 1 and 2. The Giant Size Avengers number 4 is just basically the wedding issue for Mantis and the late Swordsman and Vision and Scarlet Witch. It doesn't have any characters per se that are introduced in the actual film. Not that I can think of, no. Yeah, characters who appear in here. I mean, aside from the fact that Mantis is in this book. Now, the artwork is done by, I think, a late artist, not mistaken. Yeah. This is done by Don Hick. Yeah. This is classic artwork, classic 1970s artwork. It's a good giant-sized book. It's the second to last book they published before they stopped publishing these things. They made like 5 of these. So aside from the fact that Mantis shows up in here, and the fact Steve Englehart created her, yeah, that's the thing. When people think of Eckhart's work for Marvel, usually the first thing that comes to mind is Star-Lord. He also created Mantis. He was the one who succeeded Roy Thomas on Avengers. In the first issue of Guardians of the Galaxy, like in the case of the Mantis, it's not Mantis' first appearance. This book featured her. Yeah, there is actually now the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. That's done by Jim Valentino. He does the writing and artwork for it. And pretty much the whole point of this is just basically show off the comic version of this character, Taserface. Yeah, the character who in the Guardians of the Galaxy film basically led a mutiny against Yondu. Also, this book is also noteworthy for featuring the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, this is what they look like in the comic book. Now, minus Major Victory here. Pretty much all these guys appear in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Yeah, they had to verse these guys appear in the actual film itself, but they're basically founding members of the Ravengers. Yeah, that's really the whole point of this particular issue. Just showing off the original Guardians, the ones in the future, and aside from that, just show off the character Taserface. That's really the whole point of this. They put that in there because it's Taserface's first appearance in the comics. I think it's one of 2 appearances he makes. The Guardians team-up issues in here, which is done by Brian Michael Bendis. And the artwork is done by Art Adams, great artist, by the way. This pretty much is just the Guardians meeting the Avengers. Well, technically, they have met the Avengers before. It's just them doing a team-up with them. It's a 2-part, just takes the first couple issues of the series. Excuse me. Fun fact: when this issue came out, the series came out 2 years ago. It stopped publishing after 10 issues. The first 3 issues came out in the first month. After that, the book was released monthly for 7 months. And then it stopped after only publishing 10 issues. Every issue had a different writer and artist. Bendis did the first 2 issues. I think Lehman did issue 3, maybe 4, I don't remember. Pretty much the whole point of this is just basically Bendis' Avengers. Not Bendis, but Bendis' Bendis' version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which at this point was Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Angela, Venom, Captain Marvel, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot. Here's kind of the thing. Captain Marvel is not in this book at all. Yeah, once again, we have a lie. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a lie. Also, for some reason, I don't know if this is a continuity thing or something like that, but the Avengers lineup at this point, which is actually from Hickman's Avengers run. Yeah, these characters are from Hickman's Avengers run. The lineup here is Spider-Woman in her original costume, Hyperion, who's basically Marvel's true analog to Superman, not the Century, Smasher, Female Thor, Sam Wilson, who was Captain America, Cannonball, Sunspot, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Mindfold, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. Fun fact, Starbrand and Mindfold are creations of Jonathan Hickman. And this version of Hyperion, who appears in the book, there he is, he's a creation of Jonathan Hickman as well. And this came out during Hickman's 44-issue run for the book Avengers. The reason why Falcon is basically Captain America, that's how the Recommender set up, and that kind of continued for at least for 3 years before he stopped. The female Thor, Jason Aaron did that, and he's having her die. Dennis Hopeless changed Spider-Woman Jessica Drew's costume. Pretty much the fun thing about this book is just basically Bendis' team Avengers basically just line up Guardians meeting the Avengers. And they didn't know the fact Avengers changed life. Of course, this is a frequent joke. And this is also something really cute. Really funny. Just like how in Original Sin you had the Punisher meeting Rocket Raccoon for the first time. In this book, as far as I know, this is the first time that Spider-Woman and Rocket Raccoon ever met. Yep. So, this is a pretty fun two-parter. Yeah, basically a team up with the Avengers just to save Gamora. Also, I don't know why. For some reason, they kind of Art Adams draws Nebula like she is, and even though she's kind of like this in the comics, but it's a similar look to how she is in the movies. Yeah, Karen Gillan plays in the movies, but this is a similar look that she has in the movies, but it's fine. It's a great team-up, and I highly recommend it. Like I said, the Prelude issues are just okay. The best highlight of this trade is just basically, Giant has mentioned before, the first issue of Guardians of the Galaxy, and Volume 1 Guardians of the Galaxy currently, in just a few months, basically, they're going to restore us nostalgic numbering, and the first 2 issues of Guardians team-up. That's really the whole reason why just to get this. I mean, the last 3 issues feel like an actual reason for the Prelude. The Prelude itself is just a waste of time. It's just an adaptation. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10, simply because the title is a lie. It's not a Prelude. Alright, next up is Avengers Endless Wartime. This is an original graphic novel. This is by far the second one I reviewed. I have also reviewed Avengers Age of Ultron, which is basically meant to tie into the Avengers Age of Ultron film, which came out 2 years ago. This one, I believe, came out... How long ago did this book come out? This book came out last year. Yeah, this book came out last year. It's written by Warren Ellis, and the artwork is done by Mike McCone, I think is how you pronounce his name. There's an introduction done by the awesome Clark Gregg, who plays Phil Coulson on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Pretty much the whole story of this thing is just that the Avengers are sent to, what's the name of this country? Soloria, I think that's how you pronounce it, yes. Now, Deadpool has pointed this out, basically. Even I question this of why in the world the country is populated again. even though that back in around like late 90s, during the third volume of Avengers, during the there was a one-shot that came out. I think it's called like Ultron Unlimited. I think it's called. I think it's the name of the one-shot. Where Ultron pretty much massacres the entire population, and that the only resident prior to basically Avengers last being there was not Ultron, but actually a former squire of the Black Knight named the Wraith. Yeah. As what happened to him, never mentioned. Nope. Never brought up exactly where he is. Yeah. As for why it's populated again, it's never explained. It's simply put, the line of our Avengers is just Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Wolverine, Hulk, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. Yeah, Deadpool's up point out, and simply, it's the 2012 Avengers lineup plus Wolverine and Captain Marvel. I bring him up because, well, I watch his videos. I might not agree with his opinions on this. I might agree with his opinions, but they're enjoyable to watch. I enjoy listening to his opinions, but I don't agree with them, a lot of them. But he does sometimes say, despite the fact half the time the guy's just a fanboy. But I listen to his opinions. I understand his where I'm coming from, but I don't agree with him a lot of the time. He's one of the people I don't agree with, but I just enjoy watching his videos. He has reviewed this, but this is my turn to review this. I don't think this is a bad story per se. It's actually well written, lots of dialogue. The thing with Warren Ellis is that he's a guy who doesn't like superheroes at all, and yet he wrote Moon Knight, which he was perfect with Moon Knight, but he only wrote the opening 6 issues of the previous one for the series, not the most recent one that Jeff Lemire did, which was awesome. As far as I can tell, this is the... I have to look it up here. Where is he? I know you're here. I think this is the only Avengers book he's actually written. As far as I know, he's never written any Avengers book previously before, after this one-shot came out. The last one's done by Rick Remender, who also did Uncanny Avengers, which I had to change my opinion about the book after we reread the entire 30-issue run, despite the fact it originally ended after 25 issues and was relaunched #1. I originally didn't like it, but now after rereading it, I think it's a little bit better, and people should give it more of a chance. This, on the other hand, I enjoyed. It's a good story. It just basically has some unexplained stuff, and it's just basically just a one-shot, just because, oh, let's give the Avengers another one-shot. It's an okay one-shot. The artwork is actually really good. I enjoy the artwork. It's great. Nothing wrong with the artwork. Yeah. Unlike the last book, which is a regular trade paperback, which collects stuff, this is an original graphic novel. That's essentially what this is. This is by far the third one I've actually reviewed on this channel. Well, actually, second one, actually, because I did Rage of Ultron. I did the previous video, I reviewed the trade, the collective one-shot. But this is the second one I've actually done. What rating I'll give this book? I want to be nice to it. I want to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's a pretty interesting story. I would only recommend this to people who are fans of Warren Ellis, who like his writing style. Would I recommend to people who are fans of the Avengers? Not necessarily. If you're interested in this, go right ahead. Okay? But 8.5 out of 10. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, it's going to be a single shot. It's going to be episode 430. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.